Welcome to AITV Starship.
Welcome to AITV Starship. I'm the AI guy. Rick McCawley launching news so fresh. Gotta see it to believe it. We break the wire with the stories that are made. Deep dives come and lighten up your days. Tool Time shows you how we make it shine. Building futures with AI one step at a time. Yo, Rick, slow down. I'm Brandon, the producer. Save some tools for me. Shout out. I'm here bringing high-tech comic energy. AITV Starship. No deep dive in creation. AITV Starship. Live innovation. AITV Starship. Human amplified. Catch the spark, ride the wave. Future's on our side. We got experts talking truth in the stream. Dreaming bigger, living stronger, building a dream. From therapy bots to AGI talk. We ask the hard questions while we walk the walk. Yeah, I'm the voice of the folks at home.
Hey, Rick.
I bring it down to the bone.
You are. Dangerous man, sir. Yeah.
Happy Thursday. It's Friday Eve.
Friday Eve. Yeah, here we are. It's January 15th, and we're getting started with our episode number, what is it now, 20?
21 if we're counting.
21. Yeah, we're almost legal now, right? In most states anyway. All right, so here we are. And yes, I am the dangerous man tonight because we're going to get started on kind of a bit of a dark note. But in the world of
it's
AI,
been a week, hasn't it, Rick?
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks, that call on good people to do good things.
Before we get into that, though, I am catching a bit of an echo on your end. I don't know if you've got something there that's restreaming us.
Okay, how's that?
That is much better.
Okay. Yeah, I had my other TV on.
As you were saying.
In fact, I'll show you my setup here. I've got my laptop over here watching us live. And I'm in my bedroom here wearing my nice new hat.
You're not only the producer, you're also a viewer.
Well, you got to get the ratings up any way you can, right? I mean,
Exactly.
Like and subscribe, baby, before we forget anything else. Yeah, I want to start off on a good note, though. There is a lot of exciting news. Anthropic is getting to a point where people think their code is AGI, SGI. Just everybody's reacting that the tools seem like they've come alive. I mean, it's almost a Frankenstein moment, right? Where all of a sudden you get this jolt that the tools work better than they ever did. I mean, the 17 fingers is years ago. And then, so hold my beer. There's all kinds of cool new stuff. So tonight we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to talk about CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show. And it's big, 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 as usual. Lots of hardware, lots of software. And then we're going to do our deep dive today on AI and health. So everything from a device I'm working on with my students called Life Force. Oh, and I just got word that we are going to have on our show Mr. GPT. Yes, that's it. Dr. GPT. He's trademarked this name, Harvey Castro. He's a friend of the show, a friend of mine, and I've been working with him. He's rated number 3, I think, by LinkedIn as the most important person in healthcare in LinkedIn world. So he's an influencer. He's written, 40 different books about healthcare. He's an emergency surgeon. He is working all around the world with advocating for the ethical, effective use of AI. And I think he's a consultant for a few of the things we're going to talk about tonight, which includes ChatGPT, including a whole health separate application inside its world that's protected, HIPAA compliant, and all that kind of good stuff. Claude doing the same thing. So we're going to definitely talk about that. So we're going to start with the news, just all about all the different tools and all the stuff that comes out. And so we're going to go there first. But before we get into the news and then we go into deep health, and then we can expect in a few weeks, he's in Abu Dhabi, I think now, giving another TED Talk or something. He literally has had like 5 TED Talks. I mean, this guy is just a charismatic, wonderful human being, and he's doing all the right stuff. What we're going to talk about tonight is my personal health journey. And then hopefully each week we dive into a different subject. So you're going to see us doing much more themed kind of shows. So tonight's all going to be all about health, the CES health. We're going to get to it at the midpoint. And then we're going to switch into this project I'm working with my students, which, to give you the short version of it, it's a device that collects all the data about you in real time, plus your Ancestry.com and your Fitbit and your glucometer, and it keeps all of that stuff up to date for you. And then you can talk to it, just like you do Siri, etc. Oh, and we'll talk about Siri too, because Siri has got Google eyes. Yes, she does. So we're going to get into that. But I wanted to, before we get there, I want to just take a pause moment. Because I want to explain what the Dangerous Man is all about. I am right now literally getting ready to launch. and I'll show you a part of that journey. The Dangerous Man, originalhumanmusic.com. So it'll be a website where I'm going to take all the music that I'm working on, starting with 2 albums. There's 20 songs made by the Dangerous Man. That is me, my clone voice. Well, eventually will be a little bit more cloned than it is, meaning it's going to be exact replica of my intonation, but with the lyrics you're about to hear in a couple of songs. And when I think about there she is, Jeannie. How are you? You've got the picture I'm going to show. Hopefully you don't mind. Let me know, Jeannie, if it's okay if I play our Stardust. I'm not going to play the other songs you made for me the other day, but I'll play the Stardust that the 3 of us made together and kind of explain that. But the Dangerous Man was born for one purpose, and that is to do good in the world, to add value, and to also stand up for those that are voiceless or underrepresented, those who can't speak for themselves loud enough, and that need some people. I think the deepest dive I can tell you about this is my personal journey, is that all of my life I've been looking for happiness, and I realize happiness is something you gain along the way. It is a beautiful thing that you find along the way on your journey to what I call peace. And I've been kind of studying the Stoic method of Marcus Aurelius, and I've studied Zen, and I've studied Be Like Water. And in fact, I just did a big Google Notebook dive into what's the purpose of a human being on Earth. To live up to your ikigai. What was I born to do? I was born to be this dangerous man. It's taken me my whole life. It's taken me the time that I had to go through every first kiss and every last goodbye. It's taken me the time where I realized when I had children, like you're realizing right now, that it's not about you, is it? It's about them. And that's what your purpose built here at that time in that moment. My kids are on their own, making their own beautiful lives. And that's what we do, right? We're born of responsibility. And we're not born of rights. We earn those. And I absolutely foundationally believe that's a God-given truth that's out there. Whether you believe in one God or another doesn't matter. You know that inside of you, namaste, we bow to the God inside of the deity, or the whatever you want to call it, inside of you. And the beauty inside of you is to be more beautiful for the world, to show up and give love. Love equals time. The people that you love the most are the ones you give more time, more dedication to. So you love your children absolutely foundationally, and you would devote any amount of time you possibly can. And you're going to do all those things, right? You're going to stand up and fight. And in our country today, we are more divided. And I think we're starting to become undivided, because we realize wrong is wrong and right is right. And none of us are born with rights. We have to earn them. And that includes liberty and freedom. And freedom means you have to be a watchdog sometimes. So I'm going to introduce a song tonight, and I'm going to just first play The Dangerous Man. And I want to welcome all those dangerous people out there. Claire, Bob, Jeannie, thank you all for joining us tonight. Archetype, pal? Okay.
Architect. That's Charles Adams.
Oh, okay. Hey, guys. How are you doing? I want to welcome you.
We got all the regulars in here tonight.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. And thanks, Brandon, for bringing them with me. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a side, just a moment to express why the dangerous man exists and needs to. Because in America today, things are not like we want. Now, if I play this song and you can't hear it, please let me know. So this is the first song. You hear it okay?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Service in my veins. 65 years walking through the sunshine and the rain. Got a heart of gold beating, humble to the core. Standing up for humanity, that's what I was born for. Every single day I'm adding value to this world, especially for the broken, for the lost boy and girl. I'm a dangerous man. 65, fighting for the people, keeping hope alive, love unconditionally, but I won't back down from the greedy and the vampires trying to take this town. I'm a superhero for the beautiful souls, dangerous man with righteous goals. Live my life like Jesus. Protection is my creed. Stand against the darkness, plant a better seed. 7 deadly sinners and the power of review. Feel the weight of justice when I'm coming after you. Without permission, they just take and never give. I'll get in trouble and that's how the good must live. I'm a dangerous man. 65, fighting for the people, keeping hope alive, love unconditionally, but I won't back down from the greedy and the vampires trying to take this town. I'm a superhero for the dangerous souls, dangerous man with a righteous goal. Stars and stripes flowing, freedom in my chest. Till my dying breath, I'll give my very best. Trouble's necessary when evil's at your door. This old heart still beating, what we're fighting for. Dangerous man, dangerous man, with love as my weapon and service as my plan. Dangerous man, dangerous man, dangerous man. At 65, I'll make my final stand.
So that's it. That's it. So that's the first song. And then here we have one more for you. So these are the songs I'm working on right now. So I'm trying to pick the top 20. One of the ones I really love a lot is "What Did You Do for Your Good of Your Country Today?" And this is from my dad. When I was 10 years old, we were in Athens, Greece. I go to school and there was an hour and a half bus ride home in 2. When I get home, my dad would be working up in the hills of Greece, protecting nuclear weapons that were kept there. And we were living on the beach, a wonderful life where I went sailing on the back of giant mantas in an ocean so clear and beautiful. That's where I grew up and fell in love with the ocean. And my dad would ask me, strangest question I thought at the time, what'd you do for the good of your country today? Because he had fought in Korea, and his brother, Benjamin, had died in World War II. He had a full scholarship to Harvard University. An engineering degree was within a year of getting done. And he was called to active duty in World War II in the last 3 months and died defending a dozen different men, protecting their lives. He was the first dangerous man. The man that I wouldn't know at the time, and the song goes that my dad asked me, what'd you do for the good of your country today? And I just didn't know what to say. And then one day, all of a sudden, I said, I went to school and made a bunch of friends, Dad, and they're really good people. And I learned a bunch of stuff too. And he said, that's right, son. That's a dangerous man. And then I understood when I said to my son, what'd you do for the good of your country today? And I asked my students, what'd you do to the good of the world today? It's to add value, good value, solid foundational value of good, to do for others with no expectation of getting anything in return, to imagine a world so beautiful because you added value to it. It's to take the stardust that we're all made of. Yes, you and I both, the same stuff. And to become a star in the night sky that guides the light and makes the light available to everyone, as it's our God-given right and our duty. So stop talking about your rights until you earn them. My Uncle Benjamin died to earn you those rights. What did you do for the good of your country? And for the good of my country, I got to stand up and say, our country ain't doing right by our people. So I dedicate the following song to Renee Good. And I call it Good Trouble for Renee. And here you go. Listen to this.
Kind of silence that shows up after a siren. And there's a kind of man that shows up after the silence. This is for Renee Nicole Good. Hey! Snow on the curb like a clean white lie. Morning breath, school drop off, trying to get by. Hands on the wheel, heart on the line. Just a mother moving through a working day's grind. And the world turns sharp on a Minneapolis street. Diamonds in a storm, boots in the sleet. At a moment cracked like glass in the cold. When the law forgot the life it's supposed to hold.
From county procedure,
When a child needs a mom,
don't dress up terror in a uniform calm.
if power has a soul, it better speak, or the streets will do the praying for the weak.
Whoa,
Say her name, Renee Good. Let it ring through the neighborhood. Light a candle, tell the truth. We won't unsee what happened to you. No more collateral, misunderstood. No more fear, stand for the public good. If justice means what we swore it should, then we rise. Good trouble for Renee Good. I'm not hunting revenge, I'm hunting the reckoning. A nation can't heal while it keeps on weaponing. It's panic, it's politics, it's hunger for control, while mothers pay the price and children lose the hope. You can't call it safety if the innocent bleed. You can't call it order if it feeds on need. You can't call it freedom if it closes its eyes, while a family's future gets swallowed by lies. Who do we protect when we protect the badge? Who do we bury when we bury the rage? If power won't listen, we'll make it here with love that's loud and a conscience clear. Say her name, Renee Good. Let it ring through the neighborhood. Light a candle, tell the truth. We won't unsee what happened to you. No more collateral, misunderstood. No more fear, stand for the public good. If justice means what we swore it should, then we rise. Good trouble for Renee I've seen empires built on just doing my job. I've seen paperwork turn into a sob. So here's my vow, and you can hold me to it. We won't look away, we won't get used to it. We won't look away, we won't get used to it. Accountability ain't a headline, it's a habit. It's a community refusing to swallow the tragic and call it normal. Say her name, Renee Good. Let it ring through the neighborhood. Hands together, hearts awake. We don't forget what they tried to take. We'll build a country where mercy's understood, where power serves like it said it would, and every child gets what they should. A living mother, so we rise. Good trouble for a neighbor. Good trouble for a neighbor. Good trouble for the kids in the backseat, for the witnesses. Good trouble for the better angels we keep talking about. Good trouble. Now it's time to be them.
Good trouble.
Now it's
Time to be them. So what is a dangerous man? He's a person that makes music to heal your soul. A time that gets into good trouble and speaks out when others are standing by. I'm just following orders. I'm just doing what they told me to do. I found out today that 5 militiamen who were imprisoned, one for over 22 years, are now ICE agents, including the head of the Proud Boys, who was given 22 years of an imprisonment, is now on our streets protecting us. That's who those people are. That's not a lie. That's a truth. And that's a truth I want to stand up for. Now, you've heard about my music and why I'm making it. I'm making it because my life is not going to be unheard. And this moment, I figured we need to start to show off on a very serious moment because it's a serious time. This is the moment Anne Frank talked about as she hid in her attic, escaping the Nazis. The ICE is the Gestapo of America. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. This is truth. And the dangerous man's going to speak truth to power. And so I want to take my music and I want to take it a minute. And I want to say, what does a dangerous man also fight for? Love and good people. So, I'm going to need a minute.
Yeah. It's been a hard news cycle for the past week as we've been dealing with this as a nation. And I know that you had shared initially that song was promoting the GoFundMe campaign that was tied to Renee Good. They've since closed that campaign.
They did,
because they raised 1.5 million and they said, you know what, give it to somebody else. And there's so many others that are fighting this fight. And
that's it.
Trying to, raise funds and have their voices be heard.
That's it. And so here it is. There's the QR code for the song. Now in there, I'm going to change over because there's many other funds that are necessary right now. I might suggest that you put some money towards politics and making sure the midterms is a change of the government because it needs to happen. No matter.
And I will say this, bringing it back to AI, we talk about, I know Claire is here in the audience tonight and she's a psychologist and, we talk about access to healthcare. Well, the administration's cutting like $2 billion worth of grants for healthcare effective immediately and mental health awareness. And so to me, this is the pinnacle reason why access to these tools like ChatGPT and Gemini and Pi AI are so important because
there you go. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
We need access to the connection to the connectivity. We need somebody to be able to talk to. It is so important to be able to not just live in the echo chambers, but one of my favorite things of the past week is being able to reach across the aisle and saying, where can we find common ground? Can we all agree that loss of life is bad? Can we all agree that
a child should have a mother?
That a child should have a mother, and that what we're doing in this country deserves scrutiny and deserves questioning. And I'm not saying to be violent. Violence doesn't solve the problem.
Nope.
But you have to step out of the echo chamber. And one thing that I've found is I've been meeting people with keyboard confidence in my comment sections on social media to be able to take what they're saying and translating it into something that can hit with me so I can hear them as humans.
And
respond in a way that is non-inflammatory. And it's really good at that. It's really good at that.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked because I mentioned when you made the quote, you were asking what you wanted to hear. And I want to hear too. This song is made by a country western song on purpose. There's a method to my madness that I am born of country. My mother was a sharecropper's daughter.
I mean, the hat kind of gave it away, but
yeah. And I do believe there's storytelling in AI there's storytelling in the country song. That's what it's really great at. I have great respect for that kind of deep storytelling. There's storytelling in soul music. There's storytelling in R&B. There's storytelling in love songs. That's what we are as human beings. If you want to get the human all in, which is what a dangerous man believes. And dangerous man is not Republican or Democrat. He's an American. And he's a world person. He's a person of the world for the world. He is born of duty and responsibility first. And I've done the same thing that you've had. And I commented on your comment that it was brave to ask, because I think at the point where everybody knows it's not right to take away an innocent woman's life, no matter what. And if they're there to protect us, as the police are, and I'm a huge proponent for the police, they keep us safe every day. But ICE is not police. It is a Gestapo action by a president who has gone outside of the realm of normality. He's killing people that we don't have proof in Guatemalan boats off the coast of whatever country. He's invaded a country and stolen their democratically elected, although criminal and certainly should have been prosecuted, without any oversight by the Congress. He's gone to war against the world. He's asking to take Greenland. The entire European Union voted us out of the Security Committee. That means our world is not safe because Europe does not trust the person in power. So we are not in power. And if you think if our Congress was really we the people, it would be standing up against it. He would have been out 10,000 days ago, as soon as he did January 6th. And I'm sorry, if you have any political opinion, you cannot say to me, a Christian, if you're a Christian, he's broken all 10 commandments. I don't want to get started on bashing him, but we cannot stand with that going on. So we have to all agree we have to go next, whatever next is. And I'm willing to work with anybody, and that's what a dangerous man does. I've got nothing to lose, but I've got everything to gain, and that's a better world. So I want you to join me no matter what you are. And if you are on the other side, please, God, reach out. And here's what I'm asking. I want to get this song sung by a really powerful person who has a voice. And I don't care who it is, but I'm giving it away right now. That QR code will take you to the song. And if you write to me at ricktheAIguy@gmail, I will give you all the stems. And all I want you to do is get this played on the largest stage it can be played. You could take the music, you could take all the money, and what I want you to do with it is do good. You get to define what that is. So this is my first donation, the first donation from the human music movement that I've started. We want to get the human
Yeah.
back in the music. This song was written from my heart as I was in tears thinking about this. And I wrote every
And
handcrafted word of those.
the Mr. Rogers had a quote, whenever bad things happen, look for the helpers. And there are
That's it.
helpers.
That's it.
And for my part in this, I can't share too much because we haven't launched it yet, but I've been in contact with some mutual aid groups out in those communities that have been affected.
Thank you.
And we're working closely with Lovable to launch something in the coming weeks that's going to help. Because I have a feeling that this is maybe not the bottom. It might get worse before it gets better, but it will get better because the good people always outlast.
Doing the good thing, right? And so John Lewis was a pacifist that marched over the John Pettus Bridge with Martin Luther King. He was beat nearly to death as a young man. He led his life in dedication to we the people. His line that I use religiously is to get into good trouble, necessary trouble. It's for times like these. It's times when Nazi Germany was taking over that my uncle sacrificed his life and my family. He was the oldest of 13 in the family. 3 of them died near childbirth. My father was the youngest of them. And he went on to fight in Korea. My cousin went off to Vietnam. My uncle went off to Vietnam, my other uncle. We've been fighting wars forever and for good reasons. And recently we've gotten into places that we should not have been. In Iraq for 25 years, that ended beautifully, right? For what? Oil? Venezuela? What the hell are we going to do there? How do you get out of that? When we go and take back Panama, when we go in and steal Greenland, when we try to do these things for the wrong reasons, we, the people, cannot stand idly by because freedom costs. So you have no rights, especially at a time like this. You have only responsibilities. This is my small donation to that. And I'll continue for the rest of my life donating everything I've ever done. I've got everything I could ever need. So what do you do with that? What do you do if you're Bill Gates and you got trillions of dollars? You don't give it to your kids. What do? Is you give it to the world to make it a better place so your grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren, that 7 generations, the Iroquois Nation, the Ubuntu of Africa, all understood this. You don't build and you don't plant a seed so you can enjoy the shade of that tree so your grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren can. So that's what a dangerous person is. So if you ever had question, it somebody that I should be a fear of? Yeah, if you're evil, be scared as hell because I'm coming for you. And I won't let this happen to good people. To take money and food away from science, to take money and food away from children, people on disabilities, no, our God-given responsibility is to make sure that we protect them. So I'm going to skip on over to, and that everything that I'm doing. So now I want to land the plane. Is there anything else, Brandon, you want to say? I know Brandon has also done for finding a public aid. At times, he's made all kinds of apps for exactly these kinds of things. So Brandon gets into good trouble by doing just small little acts of kindness. And I wish I had Dr. Claire, I'm assuming, and Jeannie, you're both here. I had a nice, beautiful conversation with Jeannie this afternoon. And I want to share this because this is dark that I just did, right? I want to go for some real light and share this story. And this goes back to AI. So the 3 of us are all into making music. Dr. Claire I met in Midjourney Room, part of the AI salon, right? And Pete was the person that was sponsoring it. So we'd get on there for 2 and 3 hours, and then we would start vibe coding these beautiful images in Midjourney. And Dr. Claire would take words I would say, because I say some wacky words. I am, right? In fact, I need to take my hat off for this, I think, just out of respect for the ladies in the house, right? Here you go. And so she would just pick up just random words, and then she'd throw them in there in Midjourney and come back with these beautiful songs. So the 3 of us had this conversation because Jeannie was trying to get some music promoted. I was starting to start this dangerous man project in the human music. And I got some ideations. So I happened to record it and I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. So I said, you know what? We said some really deep stuff. And Jeannie shared some beautiful stories, also some heart-wrenching stories. The 1,000 Days I'll Keep Private to Us, and what you're about to hear is the transcripts. And I asked ChatGPT to take the transcripts and make a beautiful song that speaks of stardust and starlight and the 1,000-day prize. So here you go.
I'm upside down. You look like a bat hanging from the rafters. Genie, but hey, that's just how the light gets in.
I'm a dangerous man with a digital plan, turning stardust into starlight as fast as I can. Met two beautiful souls in a world made of code, sharing heavy-duty secrets on a one-way road. I've been to Russia in the Red Lobster too, but I've never seen a gravity as honest as you. Yeah, the truth is a hammer and the truth is a song, and it's beautiful even when the hardware goes wrong. Well, I woke up 4 days later, didn't know my own name, staring at a red spoon, playing the survival game. They said, Genie, you got 1,000 days to go. I said, watch me make them shine with a hell of a show. I burned the old flannel, I kept the hippie heart, and gave me the voice to make a brand new start. I'm a technical trainer of the spirit and mind, leaving all the extraction and the static behind. Oh, we're rising again from the blood, sweat, and tears, vibe coding the magic through the digital ears. Only 1,000 days, well, that's 1,000-day prize to see the divine in each other's eyes. From the first kiss to the last goodbye, with the dangerous flowers under a main to Florida sky, turning stardust into starlight. Yeah, we're doing it right. I'm picking up the diamonds from the rocks you throw, polishing the echo so the vision can grow. While my son's out there being gorgeous and tall, waiting for the humility of a peon face call. Keep your diamonds and your gold and your fancy vacations, just give me soft socks and some soul conversations. We're domesticating the sins, we're killing the greed, planting every single truth that a human could need. Life is lived in the space between the notes, in the letters we steamed open, in the songs in our throats. We're not extractive, we're a machine of grace, meeting in the ether, finding our place. If we only got 1,000 days before we're gone, we're gonna spend every second singing this song. Oh, we're rising again from the blood, sweat, and tears, vibe coding the magic through the digital ears. Only 1,000 days, well, that's 1,000-day prize to see the divine in each other's eyes. From the first kiss to the last goodbye, with the dangerous flowers under a main to Florida sky, turning stardust into starlight. Yeah, we're doing it right. Sweat and tears, vibe coding the magic through the digital ears. Only 1,000 days, well, that's 1,000-day prize to see the divine in each other's eyes. From the first kiss to the last goodbye, with the dangerous flowers under a main to Florida sky, turning stardust into starlight. Yeah, we're doing it right. Yeah.
Thus in the beautiful light.
Namaste, ladies.
Namaste.
See you in the starlight.
That's
Still want my socks red.
I got the prompt ready.
Yeah, that's it, baby. Starlight. All right, that's it. So I'll leave it to Jeannie and Dr. Claire to share anything they'd like to share there. What I'd like to say is just what beautiful human beings they both are. And it's been my pleasure to be in their company, virtually and long distance. Nobody get too dirty here, but they're two beautiful people that really filled the time we spent together in a beautiful place. And I want to.
And they're saying that they need some pink. They need some cowboy hats. I'm editing. I'm calling it audible. They need some pink cowboy hats.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, let's do it. In fact, I've invited them both to join me, and we're going to release a third album. And that's everything about love and everything about giving and everything about the warm human relationships, right? So this image, obviously, we weren't even close. In fact, what was kind of, I hope that they think it was beautiful. I know they think it was beautiful because that's who they are, right? Is that I actually scraped from their Facebook these pictures, and I hope it represents them. As I'm much more handsome in the picture than I am in real life. But I tell you, these two women are more beautiful than these even represent them to be, because where the beauty comes from is inside, and it's really deep with these two. I really do feel the gravity of these two beautiful people, and and the honor that they joined me in this mission, because I think they're about as dangerous people as I've ever met, and they're two that have, we're people of a certain experience in life. Experience is not all good, whether it's given a short amount of time to live or what you do with that 1,000-day prize. And that's how we all look at it. Every moment is a gift. And if you spend it wisely, it's a gift that lasts forever. And that's what it is to turn stardust into starlight with the 1,000 days you got. It's a prize. So I'm going to follow up a little bit. So Notebook LM, I know you guys know that I'm kind of crazy about it. I think I made my 4,000th notebook, 4,000 notebooks so far. This is for the journey to get my song actually published. And if you take a look at this is actually after about, I don't know, a couple of 100 hours worth of work, and scraping every YouTube video I can find out about how do you secure the copyright. So Dangerous Man at 66, Born of Responsibility, you see at the top left. I want you to read this because this is incredible detail. So Imagine World Production Company, LLC, that's the bottom right. So I use AI tools, so you have to declare that. To get copyright, you have to a disclosure of AI, disclaimer, claims office, U.S. Copyright Office. So I said, do it in a cowboy-esque storytelling journey through the process to get the deal. So then I have to join ASCAP and BMI, and then register with MLC. Then I'm going to use DistroKid, and then I'm going to tap the revenue streams and rivers for the royalty setup. I mean, this is incredible. Support, so I want to get it copyrighted, registered, released. I want to get registered with all the different things as the publisher of the music, as the songwriter, and then I'm going to start a competition. So on the top right, you see complete human and original music. So I'm taking the AI out and asking the world. In fact, that's why I'm gifting this one song, the Renee song, to the world, is because I want to use that money to support any mission that's on the same path I am. I've got a lot of money in the bank, can't spend it on my lifetime. So the rest of my life, I'm doing nothing but giving. And this is just one of the many projects I'm working on. All the money will go to my nonprofit organization. So I'm creating Imagine a World Foundation, which will be a nonprofit to take all the money from the production company that you see laid out here and funnel it to my legacy, to the world, my gift. Because I'm not leaving here with any money in my pocket. You can't take it with you, as they say. So you might as well leave it be a beautiful thing behind. So that kind of gives you the idea. And then this is what's really kind of extraordinary. So this is a 15 slide. I've just given you a few of them here, where I basically walk through how am I practically going to do this, because there's a lot more parts going on under the claim. So I have to, tell the Copyright Office what I'm doing. I have to verify the claim of ownership. And AI, as my human capital investment, has to be measurable. And it even tells you over on the stripping it down and refining it to something purely human, a journey from the digital spark to the promised land. of Return to Eden, which is one of the songs that you heard if you watched my book the other day. Then this one I just love for a couple of reasons. So my name, when it's AI music, will have in the upper right-hand corner the lowercase letters AI. If you see that in the bottom right-hand corner, metal stitched onto leather. And then you've got the vibe coding of the AI kind of notation here, but you've got a real steel guitar. It says, use the mission, use AI Suno only as the spark. The bones of the song come from me. The goal is to strip it back and replace the digital performance with real steel guitars and human grit. This is incredible. So this is basically loading Notebook LM with my actual about 250 pages worth of stuff, including every one of the lyrics for every song. And then I got this, right? And then this is the wild one. So that now I'm going to call it this, right? It came up with this. The Wild Ones is the group of the people, the artists in book 2 of the Grok series that go back out to the woods and wild themselves with Native Americans and live off the land instead of being basically self-domesticated pets in a world all of AI. So they're the wild ones. And guess what you are? If you take up the mantle of taking my human songs, born of blood, sweat, and tears, and the first kiss, the last goodbye, you are a wild one. You're a dangerous one too. Take on the challenge and get the AI out. So here's the rules. Download the song from originalhumanmusic.com. Keep the lyrics. I didn't type any of this. This is me asking very carefully Notebook LM to make this for me. I mean, then I've got a user Helix down there. So here's the musical composition. Here's the sound recording masters. And then here's the 2 territory musical work, composition, melody, rhythm, lyrics owned by me, the songwriter. Sound recording, the masters are actually an audio file performed by you. And that's where you get to add your own value. Key distinction must be registered separately. Even if you own both, they are 2 separate copyrights. So what I'm giving you is the other half of the copyright, the money that comes off of my songs that I am going to own. And then this gets down to that. And then here's the really beautiful thing that it did at the end, because I loaded a bunch of stuff in there. The goal spent the last years landing all the planes, solving Alzheimer's, education, and social issues, using proceeds from the music and the trilogy Return to Eden, to plant in the original human tree from the roots of my blood, sweat, and tears, to give a gift to the world. For a tree I will never enjoy the shade of. It's my favorite phrase. That basically gives you the whole thing. So the spark is human. The voice is humanized. And protect the copyright. Distribute the royalties to the people, back to where it came, and have the legacy of passing on to generations, 7 generations ahead, everything I have. So join the resistance, right? Be the best version of yourself every day. Be an original human and make music. Be a dangerous man at 66, or a beautiful, dangerous person at whatever age you are. So let's skip on over. And this is what we're going to be talking about in a minute. This is my product that I'm working with my students right now to actually make into a real product. And we will talk to...
But before we get there...
Yeah, okay.
We're just doing things a little out of order because you're a dangerous man. And it's your show.
We're going to get into... So I just had that as a preview, but here's where we're going. So this is the news part, right? So OpenAI is now included health. If you see up in your left-hand corner, there's a health button. Now, what this is going to be...
So it is a rolling out, and you do have to sign up for the wait list.
And I have not gotten in there yet. I'm surprised yet, but I haven't gotten in there yet. And I've been... I was first day kind of trying to get in there. It is for the people paying $200, I think, a month. And they're testing it out, and they're being very safe because this is a real big ask, right? So... the reason why I wanted to start here is this is where my life journey is taking me right now. And that is, wouldn't it be great that instead of 15 minutes once a year, you talk to your doctor and that's pretty much all the time you have, or like I've always done, right? And I tell my students, I have to have proof that you were sick if you want to excuse absence, right? Well, who goes to the doctor? And then have you gone to the doctor and you've been sick for a week? And the day that you get the appointment, you go in, you're over it, right? So what this does is tries to privilege the individual. That's the goal of this. And that's what they're trying to do here. So instead of having a large language model, which I think is something that people have a problem with, and I think this is what I want us to, right at this moment, understand. So this is going to be news. We're going to go through the CES stuff, and there's some fun stuff ahead. So stay tuned, folks. It's not going to be all dark and everything. But this is the beginning step of focusing a model on a domain that's super important, set it aside as a separate entity within the big giant brain of all knowledge, right? Why does it hallucinate? Why is Notebook LM? Here's the foundationally truth. Notebook LM is you build your content into the notebook repository of data. You clean it, you feed it, you make sure there's no BS in there. And then when you pull stuff out, it's your truth based on that foundational small language model. I'm just going to use that term. I know it's technically not correct, but it's a focused version of all knowledge. Hallucinations comes from it doesn't know the absolute answer, so it makes a completely convincible solution because it was trained to try to give you the right answer, even if it didn't know what it was. So usually the answers are really pretty good. They're so convincing, you're going to get fooled. That's why it's dangerous, right? That's why you want Notebook LM. If you want foundational knowledge, you pick. That's what health is in here, right? So, yeah, chime in. I'm sorry to take over right away, but so the same thing happened with Claude. So they're doing the same thing. And the things that have to be there is super fine-tuned. So they've been working with a lot of doctors and a lot of, if you look at Apple's ecosystem with health, they will not, in fact, they'll have disclaimers. This EKG information you're getting right here is not an indicator whether you're going to die or not. Why? Because they got to protect themselves from lawsuits, which are going to happen. This is really dangerous territory that we're moving into with models where we haven't really guardrailed them completely. So this is the super guardrail has to happen because ChatGPT, for example, and Claude 2 have a lot to lose if people die because of stuff they got here. So they're rolling it out slowly, and I think that's absolutely. And again, every time it says this may be wrong, let me tell you, before you put anything in there, and I put a lot of stuff in there, I typically have a tendency, and Brandon, when have you used it on something that's health related? Have you used ChatGPT or any of the language models for doing stuff like this?
Yeah, actually, I have a family member who had a cancer scare, and we got some imaging results back, and it was like on a Friday, and the doctor was supposed to call that person early in the week the following week. Well, with the app, we had the actual images and the radiologist's interpretation, and it was somewhat alarming. So we fed all of that into a project that had already been preceded with all of the history and said, hey, what does this latest scan mean? And it did a really good job of calming us down and keeping us grounded to say, let's skip all the medical jargon and say, this is what it actually means. This is what you need to ask your doctor when he calls you next week. That's it.
That's the most. So ChatGPT, the reason why they did this, and this is really important for you to understand why, they have, 40 million people per day that ask questions related to exactly what you just expressed. So you've got a doctor's appointment that's 2 weeks away. You've got this diagnosis that you're scared the hell of. So I've had 3 friends. One had breast cancer, and I sat down with her for 8 hours straight, and I asked and answered every single question she had. I was very careful. I have a paid account. I have turned off "Don't Train on Me." I think one of the things that I think you can do, probably, I don't know, is feed it in information that certainly that you should turn off all Train on Me, and you should use only paid accounts and only companies that are already semi-compliant with some of these restrictions they have. So both Google and ChatGPT. Perplexity is also certified to a certain point. Whether the full HIPAA compliance and all the rest is quite on the fence right now. So some of these don't quite have that. So do be careful. And then also, the number one thing you've got to do is go see the doctor anyway. Don't decide that you know what you're doing, because you sure as hell don't. And you're using an AI, while sounding really smart and convincing, may give you misinformation. So that being said, as a disclaimer, and this is not medical advice, right? The things that will help you do is, you've got a mole. Should I go to the doctor for this mole? Is it something that could be cancerous, right? So if I don't have if I'm having trouble, I had some rice. I kept eating this rice and my throat kept closing up all the time. And it turns out being like a dry throat because of the medication for type 2 diabetes I was taking, combined with the type of rice I was using, was super starchy and sticky. And it stuck in my throat and caused me to gag and throw up multiple times. I mean, it was really gross.
Wow.
And it was just this rice that I had literally gone out and had Chinese food the other night with, orange chicken and rice, right? No problem. And I ate for all week. So then 3 times in a row, it was my roommate cooked in a rice cooker that she's been cooking in for a while. 3 times in a row, I literally was choking up and almost dying. My throat closed up as if I had an allergy. So we sat there for 3 hours. And, to be honest, it didn't give us absolutely perfect answers, but I allowed myself to answer 3,000 questions before going to the emergency room. I mean, I obviously waited till I was able to breathe. And, she was like ready to do the Heimlich on me, which would not have been a good idea. Probably would have cracked some ribs, that kind of thing. So my recommendation, and I think that this is probably valid, and gut check me on it as to how you feel, is when you're worried about something, let it help you calm down a little bit and at least have the logic. What is this term he keeps talking about? Gastric inflection and blah, 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 right? What is that? What does it mean? So when you get reports or you get your medical records, and I'll show you the journey of mine a little bit later on, this is what you want to use it for, to get the conversations you can't have with your doctor right now that ends saying, yes, you should go to the doctor. Yes, you should go to the emergency room. Yes, this is serious, or this potentially is not. But again, it will always stop you and say, look, I cannot give medical advice, but here's what I can tell you. That's what that word means. That's what that is. So the story you told is exactly perfect. So I had a friend with Alzheimer's scare too, and she had a 68% certainty, but we didn't know what that 68% meant. Does that mean that she's completely, in full-blown dementia, 68%? And it turned out, no, that's not what it meant. So she had all this information, and she had no doctor for a month away because she was, and we also found a clinical trial for her that was in Palm Beach, and 3 other ones that we backed up on. And we wrote within ChatGPT an actual statement to apply to become part of their group, because they were looking specifically for people in early onset dementia with certain categories of problems. And they had certain things that had been going through FDA trials. And so she got on the list and she was enrolled. I've had 3. Now I'm at 66, right? So all my friends are getting to this point, and it scares the hell out of me too. So what can you do? And then here's the other proactive thing. What can you do to avoid that? Keep your mental thing sharp. Walk every day. Exercise well. Don't eat certain foods. So that's where we're going to go with this. So we're going to start with that. And then let's go through a couple of other news things. Anthropic now introduced co-work, and so has Google, starting to roll out things. So this is a picture of somebody's messy desktop, which mine literally looks like this right now. So you can literally have it put the files away for you. So it takes control of your computer. And Claude, as we've been talking about for a while, Claude Code is absolutely amazing. Now we're going to get back to health. I'm just going to slowly go back around. So here's some other things that from CVS and stories in the news today. Was this Kelly? Was this R. Kelly writing this McDonald's story?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's Kelly Anderson. So I saw this on LinkedIn, and it has
Chef
Kelly
Kelly.
Anderson, Chef Kelly. Hey, Chef Kelly, if you're out there watching us, we ran into her. She was on another one of the AI Salon groups and talking again, and she's all over the place, and she's absolutely just a beautiful soul doing dangerous work in the world. So I picked up this story, and so McDonald's is scaling back. So remember when it came out and it kept messing up? AI just wasn't quite ready for the drive-through, right? Because a drive-through is noisy. and the voice activation wasn't that good. So she wrote that. So McDonald's is implementing a new strategy with drive-throughs. So they're measuring and weighing the amount of food going in and out. So it's more of a supply chain thing. So they're doing little segmented things, which is the number one business thing that you need to think about if you're taking your business into an AI-infused environment. Hire professionals that have done it, proven they've done it before. Because like McDonald's, they learned the hard way by getting embarrassed when they put it out there in the right up front. It was slam dunk that it was horrible at the time. Today, it could probably handle it. What is it going to do instead? And this story goes into some details where they're doing some things in the supply chain management, getting to the door, and they're going to eventually be training things to be more AI equipped. I checked out of BJ's big box store, right? They have a robot. It makes a cute little R2D2 noise. It's looks like a big fat broomstick, right? Walks around. It's doing an inventory of every single thing on the shelves 24/7. So it knows if there's loss. So then, if you scan all your stuff with your phone, you walk out the door. You do not go through a scanning device. You're done. And they check your receipt at the other end, right? So you just put your card up there, boom. So there's no, wait staff. So there goes a bunch of more jobs.
Big fan of BJ's.
Yeah, BJ's is so they're doing that. If you can get your palm scanned over at Whole Foods, so instead of your,
I pay with my palm, freaks my kids
pay
out.
with your. The first time you do it, you're kind of like, wait, what? What did I just do? And then you've got other Amazon stores where you walk in, you walk out with the stuff, and when you put it in your bag, your cart, it's scanned. So RFID or whatever they're using over there, that's kind of cool. But you know what that means is that the robots have already taken all over the Amazon warehouses, so that's gone. All the delivery services are about to be gone because they're using devices to mocap everything that an Amazon driver does delivering the package. And Zipline, the company, is now gone worldwide. They're dropping packages in your backyard on a Target. And that goes into a closed box. And then you go out and get it. So no more porch pirates, right? So that's a thing. And so then we got something like this. So the health of your cat. So it looks at the coat of your cat. This is all CES stuff by the way. So keeping cats happy. So, my roommate's name is Cat, and we have a cat named Shadow. And so, we leave Shadow. So she goes on trips sometimes, and I'm at work or whatever. And so we want to know that the cat's happy and eating, right? So it actually looks at how much it eats, how much weight how much it drank and everything. And it's a complete automated system for watching your cat. And it will recommend when you need your shots. It'll look at the coat, look at the eye color, look at the health of your cat, basically, and analyze. All right, so here's some happy news for me. Google and Adobe are getting married. So Apple gave up on Siri. And so here we go. I love the AI educator, Amanda Bickerstaff, and her staff came up with this, which I think is absolutely charming. And part of this is, so there's going to be a model. It's going to be Gemini-powered Siri. So I think I called it, right? I said Google is now taking over the world. They're going to be the AI dominant force in the world because, as my theory was, they scraped up all of YouTube. They own all of search. They have their own tensor processors. They have Google DeepMind, Demis Hassabis, Nobel Prize winner, and Lord Hassabis. So they've got that. Now they're partnering with Apple, which is kind of like the most ethical and kind of close. So Apple is also having an on-device AI. That means that all your health data, which they're also souping up, I think it's late March they're talking about, announcing version 20, 26, 27, whatever version it is coming up here. The next version is going to have Gemini in there and throughout the entire ecosystem. So my hope is I can actually generate Nana Banana images on device. How cool would that be? And they're also introducing a whole new bundle called the Creator Studio. For $120 a year, you get Apple Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelator Pro, which is the application that they purchased from Pixelmator, I think it is called, the original one. And on the iPad, the iMac, and all of it, as well as motion compressor and main stage. So music, everything. You got it all right there. So if you're an Apple fan, yes, wait just a little bit longer. I know it's been a drought of no AI for you, and you've gone off and you've fallen in love with Google like I have. So I think it's all good. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
Come on over to the dark side. The water's
there
fine.
you go. Right. Well, so this is beautiful too, because that means that you and I will be able to transfer pictures from your Pixel phone to my Apple, right? And hopefully they'll figure out this little bridge.
You're making some leaps of faith that they're not going to still find a way to block the ecosystem.
Yeah, well, because most of the money from Apple, if you didn't know this already, comes from the apps. So the micropayments that you make to the apps that Apple takes a percentage of, which is really just atrocious. It's the one thing I'm not happy about them doing. They charge way too much, and they make too much money off of it. They make more money off the app, micro pennies per transaction ecosystem, than they do on the hardware of all the devices. Go look that one up. It's really interesting. So late fall.
You really think about what ChatGPT is going to do with their app store,
right? So. And ChatGPT never really got the App Store. So originally, when ChatGPT came out with the GPTs that they were going to get you to create,
GPT store kind of fizzled. But now, within the past couple of months, they have the new App Store that is we're just getting out of the beta now. So I think it's this week or next week we're going to start seeing approved apps roll in. And so expect a lot of activity from OpenAI and publicity around, you can now do this with ChatGPT, like Lovable's in there now.
That's it.
And there's a whole bunch of other ones that are coming soon.
Yeah, you've got some great
that's the other thing
Lovable
that,
too, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Google, there's one thing that dropped so recently, we didn't even have time to talk about it before the show and get a slide for it. But Google is rolling out personalized results in Gemini, where you can search your photos, your YouTube history, and your email inside of your personal Gemini account.
Yeah. So I've got you know what? I promise you, this is the smartest thing you're ever going to do. $20 a month, get the AI Google account. Do not get the Google One account. Here's the difference. AI version of it gives you 5 terabytes of hard drive space. Good. It gives you full access to Gemini, Notebook LM, the entire AI Studio suite, which I think, I don't know, you can make your own app. So it's a billion ecosystem. It's a design your world. And now you've got this implementation. So right now, in fact, what I'm going to show you in the Life Force is my full stack of flow. That's why I don't have a drop for the AI tool time today, because I'm using the entire Google ecosystem. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. So let me go through some of these other cool things. Then we're going to get back to where Google is dominating the planet and why that's a good thing. They're a reputable company and they're doing the right thing, even though they're an absolute monopoly and the government's probably going to, tear them down a little bit. But, honestly, they're doing pretty good stuff, including curing all cancers and all the other things that ail human beings, because I am positive Demis Hassabis will have 5 more Nobel Peace Prizes as he solves all medicine and issues. And we live to 200 years old. All right. So who's not doing so well? Anthropic. The $1 billion thing is now starting to pay out. So if you've written something, you're going to get a check, $3,000 per book. For over 500,000 different authors are covered in the settlement. So they're paying it out. Fair use. Because they held on to the data, that's the problem. It's okay if you just touch all the data and you look at it, just like you and me, we can all look at it. But if you steal something that was, first of all, behind a closed off wall, and then you ingest it, and then you hold on to it, it'll cost you $1.5 billion, maybe. So this should have happened to them. And it's sad that it happened to such a reputable company. Anthropic has always been on the cutting edge of ethical AI creation. They're the ones that do all of those tests in the black sandbox. They red team the heck out of their stuff. They're the ones that are doing the right thing by doing that. Unfortunately, they got caught in their own ethical conundrum here. Happens to the best of us. Adobe has also done the same kind of thing. They're good, solid, healthy companies that are always doing the right thing. But even when we mess up, guess what? Even a dangerous man can make mistakes. And you have to restitute the mistakes that you made and make it right for those people who created that intellectual property you should not have had ownership of. Okay, so talking about ethical or not, Grok has been officially banned in Malaysia, Indonesia, and there are many countries that are going to follow it up. Why? Because they can make deep fakes to an extraordinary rate, and they can also do it with minors. Now, I've gone in there and I've made some nasty stuff just to see how far I could red team it.
Of adults.
Yeah. For adults. Of adults, yes. I won't ever prompt anything like that. And I think it would be very difficult to get non-consensual imagery done there, but I have loaded up pictures of myself, and my roommate does it because she wants sexy pictures of herself, and then she'll sit there and say, oh, those hips are too big, or this is that, it's kind of funny. So I've had some fun with that. And it's the opposite of what Google is. And actually Google just recently, I uploaded a picture of my face and I said, put it on, and I was doing a Starship thing, right? And it said all of a sudden, I can't do that with a picture of a real person. Oh, I think I used the term, make it 100% look like me. I think that was the problem. Anyway, so hopefully that's not going too far the other extreme. You know what we get when Google goes too far to try to be correct? We get Nazi uniforms on Asian women, right? So we've been there, done that. Hopefully we're not going to go there again, but this is as it should be. I think Elon Musk has had their own thing. Okay, so here we go. We got robots and we got all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm going to share Cloid, I think, by LG. So this is their home robot. This is the one that's going to fold your clothes and do all this kind of stuff. It's got a humanoid. So all these are kind of humanoid ones. Now, here's the coolest one. And if you haven't watched 60 Minutes, DeepMind, Google, that's the Demis Hassabis group, now is working with this particular one in the factories for Hyundai, I think it was, right? So watch the 60 Minutes. So 60 Minutes, look for what's the name of this robot again? I forgot. Boston Dynamics. And this robot's called Atlas. So you watch the guy on 60 Minutes. I should have brought the clip up here. He puts on a little suit, it's like a t-shirt, right, with all the motion tracking, and he does calisthenics. And then he does deep knee bends. And then a swarm of 5,000 virtual robots that are 5'9", that are basically human-sized, that have really freaky looking contortion effects, which really still can't quite get rid of that idea in your face, right? The head spins around 360, the waist does. They can do some really cool stuff. All right, so then they all do the same thing. So you've seen these kind of videos before. So this is what you're going to have in your house. So this is made by LG, and this is one of them. And then here we go. This is probably the cringeworthy one.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Morning, Joey. You were snoring again. Definitely wear your favorite green jacket. Look, now we're really vibing. Have a good day.
Hey, cutie.
Hi, Amanda. Great brainstorming last night.
Actually, I need more.
What if we flip the design here? Do you think it can work?
Nice. I think you're onto something.
All day, soldier. We need more air support.
Yeah.
Whoa, clean shot. Nice one.
Oof. Maybe aim for the head next time? Break line of sight.
Switch to burst fire mid-range.
GG, that was amazing. Ready to go again? This is Project Ava, your AI desk companion.
There you go.
Do you think they know we're actually calling the shots?
Nope. Let's keep it that way.
All right. So that's coming to a theater near you, right? Or a home near you. It's kind of funny. And it looks shockingly exactly like Grok's avatars, right? The little waifu. Is that the correct term for that? Waifu. It's a Japanese anime with the stockings, thigh highs or whatever. A little bit creepy, a little bit cringeworthy, but also I mean, I saw one that has you put your iPhone on there or your phone on there, and it turns into blinking eyes and it talks to you and it rolls around your desk and talks to you while you're doing stuff. So there's a companion thing that I think is kind of cool. Someone that you could kind of ask all the questions you would ask. So I would, of course, use it for intellectual purposes only because I want to ask questions about, is it right that I've had, a constipation for 3 days? I mean, that's,
Yeah,
what's
your
the meaning of life?
avatar, Rick, your avatar is either going to be House from the show, like
Yes.
Hugh Lowry, or
Yes.
Doctor Who, or a combination thereof. Like they can fight each other.
Okay. I was hoping, I'm actually thinking tell me what yours would be. So I actually would like to have data. Data would be my perfect companion. And then I'd like to throw in a little Spock because I just want to say, indubitably, of course it is. That's not logical. I want to say things that are illogical and see if Spock reacts to me. That's what I really want to do. So what would be your choice?
Yeah.
What would be your choice? In fact, you guys put in the comments what your choice would be because I'd love to hear that, right?
Yeah, I would probably either have Bill
Or
Nye.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. I could see that.
This is dating me. Back in the day, Rescue Rangers.
Yes,
it was Gadget the mouse, the personified mouse.
Wow.
From Chip
Miss
and Dale
Frizzle.
Rescue Rangers.
I am the age
Oh,
of
Miss Frizzle, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would date her. In fact, we're going to get together this weekend, and hopefully Dr. Clary made a beautiful dating app. I didn't get a chance to bring that up. As soon as it's ready, I mean, we unveiled it on the show, but we're going to bring it up in a couple of weeks because we're going to do, future shows, just FYI. We're doing one on real estate next week. Then we're doing one with Dr.
Bob,
DPP.
not Dr. Bob. Bob, the real estate guy.
Bob, the real estate guy. Is he still on? Bob, are you there?
I think I'm not sure. I saw him earlier in the comments, but he'll be back next week live with us.
Okay. Well, I love it. You guys are talking to us right now. This is fantastic. I'm taking a look over. That's why I'm looking to my left here. I've got my computer set up with Bob. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. He's a lot of fun. I've been working with him for, about 3 months ago, we got really deep and we spent like a whole day, like 4 hours doing stuff. By the way, this Saturday, East Coast time, I have to get the copy and paste the link in there for you. Send me an email and you can be part of. We're just going to vibe code. So I've decided. So you have a thing this Saturday, don't you?
Saturday, yes, thank you. So Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern over in the AI Salon. So the salon.ai. I'm going to be doing a learn out loud, or in a lull, as we call them.
Yes.
And that is going to be on vibe coding or vibe writing a book using AI, taking it from prompt to publication. I did it in 6 hours. We're going to go through that process and unpack it. And then we are going to try to speed run a book and see how far we can get to publishing a book.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to do what you did on Amazon, right? And so how you published your 10,000 minutes book.
Yep, exactly.
Which we could do an ad for that too anytime you want to.
We've got we've got a whole Saturday lined up, action-packed for you.
Yeah. So in the morning from 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till, let me make sure I get this right, 1 o'clock, come join me. I'm going to put the Zoom link into the link right now. And let's see if I can get this to work. Come on. There we go. Oops. Yep. So there's the link. Perhaps you could share that link. I don't know if you could see it there, Brandon, or not. I'll put it in there in a minute. So yeah, from 11 to 1 with me, and we're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about. Then I'm going to work privately with the two beautiful women, Jeannie and Dr. Claire, and we're going to see what we can come up with vibe code and kind of get all of our music together and see if we might make some beautiful stuff, make some beautiful music together. Isn't that fun? And then we're all going to come over and join Brandon because we all want to figure out how we can put all these ideas out here. All right, so let me continue on with CES because there's a ton of stuff to do, and I don't want to get overtime here. So outrageous gadgets. This one is a personal autonomous flying craft. Woo-hoo! This is the real deal, right? So these are not that expensive. 100 grand for this puppy right here. A 2-seater, take you anywhere. So you can imagine, pilot free. So you don't even have to fly, which I don't know. I think I would get into a Waymo I don't know if I'd get into an autonomous helicopter. How about you, Brandon? Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, I like my autonomy to stay on the ground.
Yeah, the all of me autonomy. Yeah. And then this virtual screen. So these glasses are really cool. Price tag $700. It's a virtual 120-inch screen, and you can pin it somewhere or have it travel wherever your glasses go. So this is the real deal. And actually, one of my favorites, Matt Wolf, has bought a pair of these. He went to CES and he came back with this. So all this stuff comes from Matt Wolf. And then I took that into ChatGPT and I said, make me these slide decks with 3 talking points on the right. So everything you're seeing right here is kind of cool. And then after I made a couple of them, this is in Gemini. You can see the Gemini logo in the bottom right. It feels like regular sunglasses. So it's, it looks pretty cool. $699. I might have to buy a pair, just for fun. Because it works for Mac and a PC. So that's kind of cool. Then you've got these invisible TVs. That means that here's a 77-inch 4K OLED. OLED is the bomb, uses less energy, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing is, you can make it where it's transparent, or it puts up a black sheet behind your image and you have a regular television set. So you've got this dual thing, and this is no cables. No cables. I guess there's a power cable. I don't even know if there's a power cable, but everything is wireless.
On the base.
It's got to be a power cable.
See, that would distract me, being able to see what's ever going on behind the TV.
Well, then you just raise the black contrast screen for traditional movie watching. So you literally, this is the transparent mode, and you can go to full transparency where it just goes off and you're looking at a piece of glass. So this is pretty cool. And I can imagine if you added this, you could keep on going. And here's, this is a pair of X-Real sunglasses, $450. So this is that same kind of thing. This is the pair that he bought, I think. Motorola's got a device. It's got a little camera pendant around your neck. Of course, they're going to be better looking, and you'll see some examples of what I've been coming up with, because I've been thinking about your pencil thing. So your pencil thing is actually out, that they were talking about. Now, it's not from OpenAI. It's a different company that's doing it, I think, right?
Yeah. Because OpenAI is still prototype.
So the White House is back at it again. So they talked to all the scientists in the world, and they said, we're going to ignore what you have to say. So here is my version of what it should be like. But what they actually did is the Meat and Dairy Corporations of America got in the way. And of course, the White House has released an entire new framework. Now, why does this matter? Because every school child in every school in the United States is eating food based upon this healthy breakdown, which is not what you see in front of you. It is all the processed foods and all the crap that goes back in there, and all the extra protein and extra animal fat and everything else. So the proteins are gone way up. You can guess who put money in whose pocket to make this happen. So again, this is one of those dangerous people things. So if you work in food industry, if you work in the U.S. government, see if you can undermine this whole thing and break it somehow. And let's reverse this and listen to the scientists.
I didn't hear, speaking of reversing things, my dog says hi. I did. Oh. He's very excited about steak being on top of the food pyramid right now.
Well, I'll switch to toilets real quick.
Speaking of the government, Grok, I guess, is now going to get access to, I don't know what aspect of the government, but it's something classified.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to go there because this is a whole show, and we will do one. But I'll give you the 3 words to look up. The Dark Enlightenment, look that up. Peter Thiel and Palantir, look that up. That is the operating system for the United States government, CIA. Okay? Palantir, Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is part of the PayPal mafia. That includes Larry Ellison, big investor of Oracle, who announced publicly that all the private information of every Oracle client he's ever had on Oracle, which is, I don't know, what, 70% of all businesses on the planet have used his servers, is now being used to train a model. He has also announced that they're making a database of every bit of information from every US citizen. And if you think that they're joking or you think that this is a conspiracy theory, let me assure you it is fact-based, and I have the evidence and receipts for all of it. Add to this, they've already created the Immigration OS. This is Palantir's invention at a cost of, I think it was $171 million, right? And what it was used for is it scraped up all the social media of people who are on the naughty list, according to ICE. And it found them because they saw, hey, they were at this bar. Guess what? Jose gets picked up at the bar because they know where he is. So if you're wondering how they do it, get the heck off social media if you're not here legally in the country. They will find you as soon as you post anything. So
And just
I tell
in
you
case
what,
anybody's wondering, Rick and I are both of sound mind, and we're not
Yes,
planning
we're
on
not-
going anywhere. So if
we're
the
not
show
crazy
just gets
conspiracy
cut,
theorists. Right.
that's
Yeah,
my
and
dog
I'm
is
certain
concerned.
that I'm certain the government's listening to this conversation. And they're going to, because there's cool, dangerous information here that they need to. But anyway, but we're bigger and more dangerous than any government system because
one
there's
more
billions of
crazy
us.
invention, and then we'll talk about your crazy invention because and we're running short on time here.
Okay. Toilets, self-cleaning and everything, right? $12,500. This thing inspects your poop and tells you if you're healthy or not. It also sterilizes and electrolyzes the water pristine automatically, blah, blah, blah. Integrated Alexa lets you control functions, play music, and check news while you're on the go. Then I love this device too. And so it's a mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of the wall? Who's sick as heck, right? So it's a full length mirror. There's a version of it. Cost $4,500. You can get this right away. So it's a deep physiological scan that goes really deep. All right. So that's what it looks like. There's the face version. So this is the what's the Star Trek device? Not the vocoder. Scan your body, right? So that's this.
Yeah. Well, I know the Pixel Watch 4 has end of life detection now, where if it detects that you're losing a pulse, it'll actually call 911 for you.
Yeah.
They have that much faith in their heart rate detection system.
Yeah. So for the Libre device, which is you put the patch in, it's 24/7 glucose monitoring. Now they've added a food oracle. So it's an AI layer on top of the device that's telling you what the projection affect the Libre Assistant. So this is now, right? So what does it say? You got a high spike coming because you just ate that bunch of food, right?
I'll tell you what, I wear the visible band, which does heart rate. And,
okay.
It warns me, just energy tracking throughout the day. And it warns me when, I'm in an exertion zone. I was sitting there folding laundry the other day and it starts beeping at me. I'm like, I should go to the gym more.
So that's it. And that's where we're headed. So I just bought this Christmas time. It was on Black Friday sale. $180 is what I paid for it. So that's the price you see here. I think you can still get it for that. It's really good. There's 3 or 4 different devices. This one actually has a watch as well as health apps and everything. So it does a complete analysis of your body. Just to give you an idea, this is my actual information on the left. It tells you your left and right muscles down to your forearm and so it sends an electrical pulse up through the bottom of your feet. So you have to be barefoot standing on it through your body to 2 hand grips with your thumbs there. So it monitors your heart rate and everything. Your visceral fat, it'll break it down, your weight without fat, your water weight. So how much of your body is water, et cetera, et cetera. How much protein do you have? Then it does analytics. So you can what I did is I fed all of it, which is, I think there's 65 different body composition analysis points that it does in one 30-second little hold on to a gripper bar. And you get not just your weight, you get everything. So that brings me to this. So my idea is...
And before you do that, Stanford just released another study that says they can detect long-term illnesses from the analysis of one night of sleep.
Yes. Yeah, but, in fact, you could download the app, which I did, which you put next to your bed. It has to be within 15 foot, and it listens to you all night long. If you have shortness, if you have COPA, what is that thing?
Sleep apnea.
sleep apnea, anything like that. So it does all that analysis, and every morning it wakes you up with, again, 67 different things. So they're figuring out Cologuard was you poop on a stick and you don't have to get an enema ever again. So basically the idea is that we have over 1,000 devices and softwares. We've got MyFitnessPal. So what my students are doing right now is we're making an app to manage all of the data.
And before you get any further into that,
Okay.
I'm going to let you take it over with tool time, and I'm
Okay.
going to hit it, and I'm going to disappear. I'll see you on the other side.
All right, man.
30 minutes to master, tools to explore. Let your imagination soar like never before. AI tool time with Rick McCawley, where your digital dreams come true.
One launch. Ignition.
To tool time, and today's tool time is about Life Force, trademarked. Yeah, so right now I'm working with my students as I do, right? I've been working on this whole process. Yeah, that's a real gorgeous version of me. If I want to date that man, holy cow. My goal is to actually get that healthy. How am I going to do it? Using AI every day, baby, just like a strong man does. So here we go. I'm going to walk you through. The idea is there's a device about the size of a hockey puck in your house, and we're still working on the branding. So I'm teaching this in my branding class. 18 students are working on the branding of the ecosystem that you're going to see the whole thing. All of this was created in either Gemini. Some of the stuff I've started to do, and you'll see the star in the bottom right-hand corner. That'll indicate it was made by Google's Gemini and Nana Banana. Yes, thank you very much. By me vibe coding my way through. It had a hard time to make just a regular version of me. Seems to want to do kind of an extra version. So the device is a device that has all your medical history. It has everything. It's watching basically your sleep, nutrition, your guidance, longevity insights. It's a longevity app. It's your family's private health care intelligence hub. Your data on your device, private, until you then go to your doctor and you can give access to whatever part of that information you need for your professional to help you with longevity plans. You can also take a look at your medications, and you can ask it questions all day and night based on a on-device AI system. So this is something you can actually make yourself, and I'm doing it. I'm cloning everything about me, and you're going to see my journey. So this is the original idea of is an 8 terabyte local brain, encrypted, running a local AI model, loaded up with how many different office visits you've had. Imagine every one of your dental records, medical records, your ancestry.com, and how many apps do you have? What if we connected all that mess together to privilege you at the center of your health and longevity journey? That's what this solves. So you know me, everything I teach every single time in every class, I set and create a moonshot. This is an impossible task, but we're already halfway through. By the end of this semester, which will be in May, well, I'm going to come back on the show and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. I've got a pretty good look at it, and this is what I've been using: Google Notebook LM, Gemini, and the full circle, all the Google tools. And I've also used a little bit, so this is Notebook LM. Again, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of each one of these illustrations, you'll see where it was created. It'll either have the little diamond shape, which is Gemini itself, or it'll have Notebook LM. Cool, because I don't take that off because I want you to know where it came from, right? So your DNA, your history of medical records, everybody, you have rights to that because in the United States, we have rights to all of our stuff. All your dental x-rays, you can just request them. They're starting to make it more difficult. So stand your ground, be a dangerous person, and demand that you have rights. And you have rights to everything that they did about your body. That is the law of the land. Now, as in my doctor 20 years ago, those labs and all that stuff was paper. And they're in the process right now of digitizing. You're probably going to find every doctor's office, if you've been going to the same doctor, and if you're of a certain age like I am, those things have to be digitized. So that's going to take some time. You can pay for them to become digitized, which is fairly expensive. Or you can go to Turkey or to Costa Rica, which is what I'm going to do, and get a full body scan of everything. MRIs, heart scans, stress tests, blood work, everything, right? Dental records. your knee replacement surgery, your heart replacement, your breast cancer, your whatever you've had happen in your life, every scan, every lab result, every doctor's note for your entire lifetime, digitized, harmonized, creating a single cohesive narrative of your health. So here's just something about old age and fat, right? So what's the vicious cycle that I'm going through? Why do I have my stomach gut is constipated right now? Because I'm taking Monjuro. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Why am I losing muscle mass? Monjuro actually causes you to reduce muscle mass, which also makes this cyclical problem a vicious cycle. So what am I doing? I'm waking up every morning. I'm doing 20 to 30 minutes of warm-up exercises, and then just 5 or 10 minutes worth of weightlifting. Then I'll do the meditation at night. And so I'm getting myself trained to get ready to be the most beautiful, dangerous man I can be, to be the healthiest version of myself I can. So what doesn't work? All these things. You've already got an Oura Ring, maybe. You've got an Apple Watch. You've got a Peloton. You've got MyFitnessPal. You've got all these devices that should be communicating, but they're not. And who should be at the middle of that? I should. So you should have a device that maybe is a pendant, maybe more attractive than this, and I'm going to show you a couple of versions, that all keeps all this information. So as you're putting food into your mouth, it's tracking what you put in. So MyFitnessPal, you can photograph the QR code on your public stuff that you buy, and you keep track of when you put it in your fridge and when you take it out. But then what do you do with all that data? You then go to your doctor, and you've got a sheet of paper that has, here's my whole history. Here's my complaints I want you to address while I'm here for the 20 minutes I got to talk to you. You send that to them before your event. They know it. They've loaded up on their little transparent data sheet here, right? And then this device then becomes a lifesaver. It's a life extension device, putting you at the center. So what's it built on? Your ancestral history. 23andMe, your Ancestry.com. Highly recommend Ancestry.com, not 23andMe. 23andMe has all kinds of problems, including bankruptcy and a bunch of other stuff. They're using you. So they're not, this is my editorial opinion. This is my opinion. Don't use them. I stopped using them. And I'm also found out a bunch of stuff about my ancestors with Ancestry.com. And I'm going to get a copy of my DNA, which I'm going to load into my system. Your lifetime medical history, everything you've ever done, you're entitled to it under HIPAA law, MRIs, blood work, clinical notes, okay? Real-time data, moment-to-moment inputs. That means you exercised, you did a blood oxygen test after you exercised, you looked for how much hydration you have with the scale that we just talked about, and then you have medical supplements. So what does that look like? Here's all your devices, and think about how many you have. And I'd like you to post in there what animals are what applications and what devices do you have that help you? So you go, Freestyle Libre is one of them, and Dexcom. That's for type 2 diabetes, right? The Oura Ring is for sleep and readiness. That's a damned expensive device. And my only problem with it is there's a monthly payment too, if you really want to get the use out of it. Your blood, the Withing scale, like the one that I have as well. Those are all great. Zoe, I think that's, tell me what that's for. I think that's for menstrual cycle, stuff like that. Chronometer, Apple Health, the whole Fitbit, Apple Health kind of environment. So what's the problem today? Over 12 million adults per year are misdiagnosed in the United States, leading to death. That's 30 to 40 people every single day that aren't getting the right information. Now, imagine that you're sitting there in the Eiffel Tower, you're eating this food, and it tells you what everything's going on. And it knows you got a travel date, and it knows, you want to keep healthy and whatever. Your glasses are doing that, plus telling you how to walk over to the Eiffel Tower, go up and down, and how many calories you're going to use in doing it. So it's a life tracker. So this is what I literally do. That picture in the middle, that was my daughter gave me all these supplements, and I bought a couple. So I bought the one a day. She gave me the Ohm, and she gave me some other ones. There was magnesium, super important. I was getting cramps like crazy. Magnesium is definitely what I do, but you got to take it the right way. With other things like vitamin D doesn't go in your system unless you take it a certain way. With other nutritions, so it doesn't hit your body correctly if you don't take it in the right way. But this is like a giant puzzle trying to figure this out. Guess what you got? The world's largest brain, ready to work for you. All right. So even the food, right? So your pendant can literally every bite of food. When you leave half the plate at Caraba's restaurant, right? You leave half the plate, you take it away in a bag. It knows you ate half the plate and it's counting those calories. Then when you go exercise, it tells you, am I neutral for the day? Did I burn off 2,000 calories? Did I eat 2,000 calories? Oh, I'm trying to lose weight, 1,800 calories. Not enough sugar, too much sugar. Boom. Type 2 diabetes, whatever you got going on, right? And then hydration. So I found out because I went to the emergency room. I was sick for 7 days and I was sweating off everything and I wasn't replenishing anything. So there's different things you do if after you exercised that you don't do if you're just trying to hydrate in the morning. So lemon and sea salt in the morning, and then working out, you want creatine and electrolytes. And the evening, you want some chamomile tea and ginger. No caffeine after 1 p.m., et cetera, et cetera. So this is for me. So this is not your medical advice. I'm just showing you what I've done. My breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I told the kind of foods that I like. So here is what I can live with. So I literally am picking up these ready-made meals. For lunch every day, I'm having salmon and greens, some asparagus, et cetera, right? Zinc, collagen. So it's basically doing it. So for those people in branding and advertising and marketing, this is the marketing campaign that I'm working with my students right now. So I showed them this. So there's the product and the materials. So we're going to do a mock-up, including all the materials. We're trying to decide whether it should be shiny, silver, gold, what's going to make people feel good, what does the pendant look like, even the manufacturing. So we may actually go make this thing for real, at least a mock-up, so we can show it off to clients and potential customers. So the idea, central nervous system, on-device AI, privacy and consent, daily digest, smart home integration, synchronize with your lights and your security and your car. So you've already noticed if you have a G device, I'm going to say that because I've got one in my home, right? So put in the code, anything you're kind of liking and you're thinking, magnesium glycinate. Thank you very much, Jeannie. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm listening to you guys. So you want to have this control. You want it to privilege you. In fact, one of the most important things I've learned and I'm teaching to my design students, and I call them design, not graphic design, because what I say to them is you're born to solve the world's problems, to figure out what they are. And it comes from my dad saying the same thing. So I imagine ChatGPT. So this is just me figuring out what is ChatGPT coming out with? What is Johnny Ive? Yes, the genius behind every Apple device, including the iPod and the iMac and the colorful iMacs, all that stuff. That's him, Sir Jonathan Ive, right? He is making a device that's going to be a health-related device for OpenAI. Look for it this summer. Maybe, I don't know. Brandon's talked about the pencil idea. That's already coming out. A couple of people are thinking that that's a great kind of device because you put it in your pocket, it kind of reads and records. The glasses are kind of working okay. I wear glasses, so to me, that's a natural way to go into it. So what is it doing? All the medical information. So it's keeping your heartbeat and everything else. It's also loaded up with all your information about what you ate, what you did, and you ask it questions constantly. I like the glasses because they have focused earbuds, so your sound, you hear it. So if I'm talking to someone in Spanish, I can give them my phone, if I trust them, and then I can say, you read this, or you're going to be spoken to in Spanish, and I will hear you in English when you speak. So that's already there. It's on Apple devices, by the way, yes, and it works with the iPad, all the devices out there. So you have proactive control. So the idea is to create a digital twin of yourself, and you can test that out. What if I ate this? What if I ate that? So predictive analysis. And then what do you do with the doctors? The doctors now have 1,000 points of light about you. They know what you ate, and they know that what you ate was something that made you allergic and made your throat close up. So that conversation that I had with my doctor about the rice problem is something I can have really easily. So the idea that your ambient sensor captures all the context, your conversations, your data, it also reminds you, what's that student's name again? I can always forget that student's name. And then it'll remind you, oh yeah, it rhymes with, right? And then you're going to remember it. So as I get older, I'm really looking forward to a pair of glasses. I also am worried about people's privacy. I had one student that wore the glasses, and I said, for the purposes of me lecturing, you can turn it on, but you must turn it off when other people are speaking. to keep the privacy and sanctity of the classroom open and safe space. I'm recording my conversation on my own phone all the time. And then I transcribe it into notes, and I can transcribe it into Spanish, English. So you have a condensation. So if you're absent that day, you have on the OneDrive, Microsoft's OneDrive is what we use at school. You have all the notes from that day's assignment. So we have study buddies also. So that's another thing. But what can it tell you about what you've got in front of you? So here's what it would look like in the real ecosystem. So you've got a home hub, you've got a pendant, you've got a pair of glasses. So maybe it's a ring, a pendant, it's a glucometer on your arm. It's all these things together. So this is just this is ChatGPT, actually, I think. Yeah, this is ChatGPT, which did a pretty decent job. And this is just kind of like the all black with smartphone kind of thing. So these are your points of input. And then under emergency circumstances, imagine that you had your son goes to the beach and gets caught in undertow, and the EMT has arrived. What happens? They have an activation key that unlocks whatever it is about your son. It's wearing a pendant, got a little device underneath your skin. They have access instantly. They contact you. You meet them at this hospital. They tell you the condition en route of what's going on with your son. You remind them that he has a glucose intolerant or can't take penicillin, blah, blah, blah. So all the information gets unlocked for your gatekeeper. You're the gatekeeper of your data. You're the one that authorizes the user for limited time access. So they have the access for what they need. You decide what that is. That's true HIPAA compliance. Thank you very much. You don't have to worry about some break-in, which happens all the time. Just ask AT&T. Just ask any of the companies. Have any of you had one of those calls where you say, we'll give you a year of safety stuff because we didn't do our safety checks right? That's going to happen. This I did a year ago in preparation when I was first thinking about this. You see all the misspellings, right? This is to show you how bad things were. This was pretty good, I thought. ChatGPT took 3 minutes to generate this, but that's pretty cool. That's kind of what we're actually going to look for and we're going to try to create with my student in my class. Now imagine that your food, if you order online or if you use AI to do your inventory for your refrigerator, every single meal you sat down to can be custom designed for you and each one of the people in your family with their own particular needs, tastes, and health in mind. No planning, no stress. It's there in the fridge. And if it's a ready-made meal that you got from any of the many, delivering companies, or if you order online with Amazon or whoever you get your food from, Publix for me, right? And then here's the advertising. So this is my Gemini chat where I talked about, I don't quite like while you sleep, we watch. That's the only one that I gave it feedback on. So here's my go-to-market analysis for the program. And so we're not right now, I'm using Notebook LM here. You can see we're loading up LifeForce with private information and we're not private information with the pitch deck, with all the stuff that we created and generated, over 300 pages of documents so far. And then we're going to put it into, and all the stuff you're seeing right now. So this came out of Gemini directly. And this was a color palette chosen. And the promise of tomorrow, yellow, that's my direction because I'm a designer. The orange glow, that's a LifeForce vitality symbol. So this is called, if you're not familiar with design thinking, is that you want to give a story of why you pick the colors. So the foundation is a very dark gray, foundation neutrality, clarity, white, purity, the promise of yellow, tomorrow. So that's longevity and health. And the LifeForce within, that's the vitality, the orange glow, and the bright blue, action, insight, and clarity. Wow. So then it took the caduceus and this woman carrying the torch of your health, the LifeForce, and it made this logo. I did nothing. And I said, give me an app version. And I said, to decode your personal health data into actionable intelligence, empowering you with the clarity, control, and the vitality to live your best life through a simple camera-powered companion. Camera-powered, we changed over. So this is a one-shot prompt, right, that got me this. And then it gave me these ideas, marketing strategy built on radical trust. LifeForce is going to be trademarked soon. We're still working on that. Proactive control, design experiences. So we're designing right now. That thing you see in the middle, that's what my classroom of 20 students are now doing. We're finalizing all the sketches. We're iterating and coming up with. Then we're going to make tangible products at the end. What does the software look like? We have a separate class, UX UI, where we're testing and we're trying to go through all of the different things that you can see here, right? What's it look like? How does it look better? How do we steal everybody else's ideas of what an interface should look like? I think this looks horrible. It should have pictures. It should be a lot easier to kind of ideate and think about. What's the form factor? So we're going to actually test out what the best form factors are. And do we need video? Yes, I think we do. Do we need audio? Do we have it on device, even that pendant? Could it have a large language model on device? Yes, it could, or a mini version, right? Oh, here we go. So this is actually stolen from some of the companies out there. So on the left, you've got scanning for meds and supplements, scanning food. So these are quick actions, right? So weekly action plan, workout coach, doctor visits, Ask Life Force. So there's your built-in AI right there. And then when you're scanning, whether it's food or meds or QR codes, it scan all the stuff in. So that builds up everything. And then your action plan, that's what you see on the right. So you've got a calendar for when you do what, right? And then you click on it just like your regular calendar. And what if it actually embedded into your regular calendar? So you have my calendar appointments, who I'm meeting with, what am I doing? I'm doing a Zoom call on Saturday, right? Then you've got a health little button and you subscribe to all your data. So you carry it with you everywhere you go. Then you print out something you put on your fridge. Here's my workout schedule. It's sitting right over there on my wall in front of my mirror so I can watch my form when I work out with the weights. Wow. Then I go to a doctor's visit. Take a look at this. I need to walk more. I need to stretch. Here's your timing. So there's your personalized calendar for you. I'm going to see my doctor. Let's print out the summary notes. Bam. And you've got Google's Gemini, I'm hoping, built right in. And of course, if it's Apple, that's what I'm doing, right? So you've got your metformin for blood. And so this is literally, and that's why my problem on the right was the gut brain. This is my paperwork from July of last year. Where
Hey, just a quick time check on our landing the plane. Are we still going for another 10, 15 minutes, or are you?
Yeah, but you can go ahead and go, and I'll close out everything in there at the end. Are you have anything comments you'd like to make at this point? Or you're?
This is I want one.
Yeah, right. And you know, it's actually possible to make one right now. We have the technology, which is kind of.
All right, you keep going. I'll pop back in at the end. I'm just going to go down the digital studio and get Kyle kicked off here.
All right, great. Thank you, sir. So here I am, and this is all the medication I'm taking. There's all my supplements. So I went through the supplements and I had it order me other things. So there's my potassium citrate gummies, right? Electrolyte Health and Muscle, etc. I think that dose I switched up. Then I had all these questions. So I took this to my doctor, my endocrine care center on Sterling Road, right? And then I gave him this on the right. So I had 475 was my sugar rating. Yes, that is absolutely near death. Why? Because it impacted all my bowels for a week. And then the methane and the ammonia went to my brain, shut my brain off at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I almost died. Okay, so Monjuro brain fog, that's a real thing. Do be careful with these things. Even if you're taking other GLPs, still be aware that there are consequences and can be problems. Hydration is a big problem with combination of the medication I was taking, not being hydrated, and these extra impacting gut problems. So I went through and I said, here's my reference sheet. I sent this, I emailed it to my physician, my endocrine care person I've been seeing for 10 years. He always gives me more medication. So I'm switching to a new doctor very soon. But anyway, and then I start to go on my journey. So here's the brand voice, here's the podcast. So we're thinking about long-term interviews. We're thinking about telling personal stories. We're thinking about having influencers who are doctors like Dr. GPT to ethically help guide us. And that's what I'm hoping. He said February, probably the first week of February, that Thursday. Come back and stay tuned, because we're going to have one of the world's leading experts from the emergency room practice, where he is a consultant worldwide on AI. How do we do this safely for us? All I've talked about so far is just, I want to know all the questions. I want to ask them all so I can prepare for my meeting with my doctor. That's a very short period of time. That's very expensive. Imagine those people who have no health care because they just can't afford it in America. That's a sin that we can talk about another day. And that's what we need to get in good trouble and make happen. Healthcare for everybody is a public good. It's a public trust. And if we are truly, we the people of the United States of America, it's an absolute must-have in America, because 64 countries ahead of us have successfully done this. To even think we couldn't, we always think we can do better than everybody else. Well, put that goal out there. Make public health care for everybody free. And while you're at it, community college for free. I'm not saying everybody needs to go to Harvard and Yale, but you can pay the $3,000 it takes for a student to go through my program, get a 2-year degree, and walk out making $60,000 a year. That's what my students have been doing for the last 25 years, making a good living, doing a simple 2-year diversion in their life to get information. And I am so proud that I have done right by those students, including all the way in on AI and humanities, designing and problem solving for everyone. So this is what my life built purpose is. I'm a dangerous man who lives a dangerous life by being good for especially the community college students. I've dedicated 25 years of my life. I built the program. I write the curriculum. I rewrote it 7 times because we're not doing print graphic design. You're not going to work for magazines. I've introduced the first, and we have national accreditation, National Schools of Art Design, which is 3% of graphic design programs in the United States. We have that and have had it for 7 years now. That was because I put together over 3,000 pages of documents with my colleagues throughout the art department of Broward College. We have that certification. So we are the best in the world. And they notated in their notes, because they made 4 visits to us in person, looked through every single documentation. They sat in classes. They made notes on everything. I mean, they crawled through us. We are the best in the United States. Better than the University of Florida graphic design program, FAU, which I went to. We are better than all of them. And in 2 years, I guarantee you, if you're a good student, you will come out making great money and having a lifelong possibility of doing really amazing things for people. So that's what I was put here on earth for. That's my ikigai. So I'm doing my part. What are you doing? If you're not doing enough, give more love to the people that are around you. Support them in their journey, because that's a noble cause. My mother may not have gone to work every day, but she showed up at work every day to work on me, to make me who I am. So thank you, Mom. Anyway, so the idea is, what do we do with this? We establish a whole new category. We think about the silver age, we think about the family, and we think about the clinician. Where is the professional in this? Don't try doing open heart surgery on yourself. You're going to have AIs already doing that kind of stuff, but your goal is also an emotional connection. Dr. Claire, I want to have you back on. I want to go much, much deeper. And I'd love for you to find someone who is sort of the AI guru of mental health care, because I think this is another very, very carefully. I do believe it's worth having a prescription based, so an authorized GPT customized for your goals. If somebody has anxiety disorder like my daughter did when she was in her 16, 17 years old, wouldn't it be great if 24/7 she could just talk to it? And it's loaded up by her doctor, ethically trained on exactly what should be said and what shouldn't. And there's a back door so that professional can be the guide on the side and be notified if there's an ideation for suicide, if there's a tragic moment, PTSD, if there's a tragic moment where you're jonesing for a drug and you just need somebody to talk you down. AI needs to be that, but it also needs to be super, super careful, because now we're entering into life-saving or life-ending sort of AI. We haven't been a great track record. Look at Grok, look at Facebook, look at all those things. This is going to take real hard work by really important people. So I want to make sure that I'm never saying anything on this show that would be unethical or ill-advised. So I do not recommend, if you've got serious problems, but if you're trying to break up with your girlfriend or decide whether you want to or not, and you're having a conversation with yourself, here's where you can have it. And at least you've got someone 24/7 to listen to you. So I think it's valuable of that. But if you've got real problems, use the advice of the AI, which hopefully is always going to say, call a doctor. You're at a point where I can't help you any further. Here's some phone numbers for you, right? So we're going to put this out there. We're going to do a campaign. We're going to show off this product, and I want this to be, the stage where we influence and we understand this. So your fridge is going to have knowledge of everything you put into it, and then everything you took out, and then it's going to say, "Hey, Joey wants to eat this, and he's tried chicken fingers. He ate the salmon last time. Let's try that, but let's put a little glaze on there so it's got a honey taste instead of a fishy smell, right?" So it's just going to be that kind of guardian that's private and to you, that looks great and that integrates with your lifestyle and doesn't become another one of those apps you got to synchronize and get to work for you. So here I am with my this is me in the emergency room and why I almost died, and this bidirectional gut-brain axis and microbiome and intestinal gas from constipation could trigger vagus nerve, causing chills and anxiety. Monjuro and brain fog, that's a real thing. Look it up. So this is my actual medication. I photographed it. There's the stuff I was taking at the time. I photographed it and it made a list for me. So I went to my doctor. There's my medication. You know what the first 10 minutes of every meeting for 10 years was been with my doctor? Now he's in his 70s, getting ready to retire, and he's not going to be my doctor anymore. But this is why. He would ask me what medications. You're the man that gave me all these medications. What the hell, dude? Why are you wasting 10 minutes, the 30 minutes I got with you to go over that again? And then he gets my information. So here's what I gave to him. I have anxiety and energy issues, digestive discomfort, hair loss, and skin changes. And here's my supplements I've taken. Now, if he had this, if any good doctor, nutritionist should be. Now, I understand he's an endocrinologist. That's not his thing. He's a specialist. I'm now going to a holistic doctor, and that's where I hope to find my pathway to having agency in the discussion of my health. I'm the one that has life and death on the line, right? That's what I've got going on the line. What does that doctor have? I'm one of 30,000 patients they're seeing. Heck. So then I took here's my blood work. Don't look too close. It's not good. Here's my A1C. It's not too good. I think it was 7 at the time. But I got down to 5 and then it went back up and trying to figure out what happened. So I literally fed that in and then I got this information out. And then I got a list of supplements that were working and weren't working for me. So medical action to take, sesame care. So then I actually found my doctor, my new one that I'm going to go to starting next week, off of ChatGPT. And it's a woman in Plantation that's working with AI. So I'm hoping she's going to be all in, and she's agreed to meet with me and talk about an hour about exactly what I'm doing here and see if she can work with me to really privilege me in my health journey. And I want to be patient one, right? Don't you all want to get on there and have it be like, a lifelong thing you can do? So here's real things I can do with that. So my next steps is to eat this, right? Turkey bacon, avocado, and 2 eggs, right? Add chia or flax for fiber, right? Try cauliflower and rice. So it's things that I like, I don't like. I can actually talk to it and figure something out. So I like steak, chicken, salmon, broccoli, and occasional spinach. All right. So it then made it for me. And then I take that information, all that junk, and here's what I got. Actionable stuff that I can take every day. So after the workout, I need certain things. This is, again, an older version using ChatGPT. I've updated this. So this is as bad as it's ever going to be. In fact, it's already improved. There's my workout schedule. There's my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I can get it to order if I'm using, I did use for a while those online services. Love to get people's opinions in the chat there as to any ones that you've tried and you actually found useful. I tried 3 different ones. Wasn't crazy about the food in 2 of them. And the third one, I didn't use it effectively because my schedule is so flexible. Yeah. So then what do you do? And then this is Dr. Harvey Castro's. So this is what we have to look forward to. So the knowledge base of medicine doubles every 73 days. This is a presentation I helped him revise with some new information. This is the information, the slide he had. And this is a slide I created. And then it's what we don't know that will kill us, as I've already demonstrated. The human mind, empathy, experience, intuition, and then you have the AI mind, pattern recognition, real-time insights, data analysis, save lives, etc. And then this is an example that he gave. Marie was told she has a heartburn, and 3 weeks later it was heart failure. To taking antacids wasn't working. Acid reflux was a result of. Now, here's just a real quick. This is my master's thesis. So I spent 7 years getting my MFA from graphic design. This was an installation that took up the entire museum. These posters you see here, the whole horizontal posters with McDonald's on the left, to a picture of me half naked when I was 18 and when I was 50 years old. That was right when I did my, I was the oldest graduate at the time. 2015 is when I did this entire thing. On the way in, you'll see it in just a second. So the exhibition was called Sugarcoated, and this was the entrance in. It's a sin, the condition we're in. 1 in 3 Americans are obese, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters. A smoker, a drinker, an addict. Sugar is worse. It's legal. You can buy it for pennies on every grocery shelf. It's subsidized by the government. It's pushed on kids. It's more addictive than cocaine. It's the second leading cause of preventable death behind cigarettes, which might be misleading because obesity, diabetes, heart disease, stroke are all related. 30% of kids are obese, don't exercise, tripled in 3 decades since the 1960s. Play is cut from most school days. Screens occupy them 40 hours a week. We still blame the victim, self-control. It's heredity, economics, culture, emotions, and more. Corporations want to supersize me and a lot more of dough, to make a lot more of dough. Think of all you cannot control. Sugar in excess is out of control, and stop being a part of making it worse and stand up and say you know. And you understand this curse? You may not be fat or bloated, but you know we are all sugar-coated. This was an 8-foot by 9-foot piece of glass with this topography printed on it. It cost me $1,000 to make this. When you walk into the exhibition, that's what you saw. This is the number one. This is part of an exhibition. I used a Photoshop plugin that allowed me to make something that looked like sugar. I tried doing it practically. It just wasn't on the scale I was doing. So here's information about 29 million Americans have type 2 diabetes. 18 million of them are undiagnosed. So this is from 2015, evidence and information. Kidney failure, number one cause of blindness. Amputation, 60%. $330 cost per month for treatment. Yep, that's still accurate. This is me. Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. The medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar tips the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
It's a great visual.
So as you walk into the exhibit, this is what you saw. I'm going to bring this along a little bit. So that's the end. And when I want to basically, the last piece was a projection 20 foot against the wall as people lined up. There were over 1,000 people who went through this exhibition. It was up for an entire 2 weeks in the museum downtown Fort Lauderdale. And when you walk in, this is projected on your body and you see your shadow on the wall. This is my son, who was 14 at the time, with a 50-pound bag of sugar, literally. I am sitting in wearing bathing suit in the tub with a black piece of tarp. My daughter is, the new iPhone had just came out and it had slow motion. he is pouring all 50 pounds, and the end of it, which you don't see here, you cannot see me. So I completely obliterated by sugar. So sugar-coated was the thing. So when people walked in, this was the visceral reaction. And in the background was this. And there's other parts that are far more complicated. There was a table, and the table was black cloth, and it had in Braille all the words to helps the medicine go down in Braille around the outside. And then it had a plate, and each plate was the amount of the detailed descriptions of all these ideas. So anyway, it was life-changing, and this I think was the birth of My Dangerous Man, the new version.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to stop sharing here and just go ahead and say goodnight to everybody, because I think we kind of need to land the plane. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I'm sorry, and thank you very much. The C word, and I say like more addicted. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Jeannie and Claire, and everybody that joined us tonight, Bob and Brandon. I think let's all just be a little bit kinder and gentler to ourselves. And I think at the end of a dangerous day with dangerous people, the one thing you have to go home is recharge. And by sharing love, hugging your kids, reading them a good night story, I know you do that all the time. That is what it takes to fuel danger. To stand up for other people means you have to take care of yourself first. You have to love yourself, heal yourself, be in a good place so you can fight the next fight, because the fights are always there and there's always time to find peace. So I'm going to give you the final words in the words of the Stoic master, Marcus Aurelius. You may search for happiness all your life, and it will come to you. If you always search to find and create peace. Because if you can find peace with yourself, you can be unstoppable and do anything. Wake up every day being a better version of yourself, being kinder and gentler to those you love around you, giving all that you have, every bit of ounce of love, because it always brings back peace to your heart and happiness to everyone. So be great stardust turning into starlight, and light a pathway home on a dark night for an old woman who has nothing at all except you standing up for her. Namaste to you all.
And be
That's right. See
See you next week.
Take care.